Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy, and today I have the newest 2021 release of the Kilkerran 8-year-old Oloroso Cask Strength. With the previous release having so much hype and doing so well, this has a lot to live up to. Can it do it? I'll let you know when I nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. Alright, this release coming in at 56.9% ABV. I believe that they rechar these Oloroso casks. Let's see how this is on the nose. So first thing you're hit with, lots of heavy, thick, syrupy sherry notes, as you may expect. The peat, that dungy, grimy kind of Campbelltown style. Lots of like barrel influence. You get lots of like barrel char. To me, I get like damp kind of wood. Also like charcoal element that kind of goes along with that. It's very heavy on the nose without a doubt. Maybe a little bit of like nuttiness, like walnut shells maybe. But this is thick, it's heavy, it's in your face, it's loud. Definitely I would not say delicate in any sense of the word. But it's what people who like big heavy whiskeys would enjoy. Really nice, for sure. Really good. Let's go palate. Lots of stuff going on with this. Super complex. First thing you get, lots of bold fruit notes as you expect. Those jam notes, the raspberries. They're really like cooked down, like pie filling, like sweetness comes through. A lot of like rustic kind of fruit, red berries, lots of that. Lots of coastal elements to this as well. Wet rocks, sea air, sea salt, like that kind of element. You get lots of that for sure. Campbelltown style gasoline note that I pick up, and a lot of different like Springbank expressions. Get a little bit of that in here. Like this really good grape gummy candy, those like small little grape gummies. These, I get that note. Really nice. Love that. Lots of complexity. Lots of stuff going on with this for sure. This thing is a tart fruit sherry bomb without a doubt. It hits you very hard. It's very grungy. It's very like dirty and very potent for sure. Sulfur plus tannin. So this was a thing that I've seen on previous reviews of this bottle. Very sulfur heavy and tannic. For me personally, sulfur notes in sherry whiskeys don't come across on my palate as something that's super unpleasant. Other people maybe getting sulfur notes where I would get it as being something kind of like less intense. For me, the sulfur note on this comes off like a burnt matchstick. I get a little bit of that. Now this bottle has gone through different like levels and different waves of how it tastes. So this is probably my fifth or sixth time trying this. When I first cracked it, I loved it. Didn't pick up really any kind of matchstick. My second tasting, it was pure matchstick. So when this thing's opening up and oxidizing, it's going through different phases of how it tastes, especially with the oak influence and with the sulfur tannic matchstick kind of note. When I'm tasting it now, that sulfur note has subdued quite a lot, actually quite a bit. You still get it, you still get lots of like matchstick. It's not unpleasant for me. I know a lot of people are more susceptible to that kind of note, and it might be off-putting to them. To me, it fits in. I will say that this whiskey is slightly unbalanced. I think that the oak notes, the sulfur notes, the intensity of the fruit, slightly out of whack, but this whiskey wasn't really designed to be a delicate, well-balanced whiskey. I think with the recharring of these casks, the cask strength, the young age, it hits you. It's a bomb. It's a whiskey, and in that respect, it's great. It's absolutely delicious stuff. Very heavy. You have to be in the mood for it, but when you are, it's great stuff. Like I said before, I would not use the word delicate or refined to describe this bottle at all. It's the opposite of that, but it works, in my opinion, if you're looking for that style of whiskey. How does this compare to the previous release? Before I mark it, let's do a head-to-head. All right, so the previous release, this one I think came out in 2019, so a couple years back. It got a lot of hype on the whiskey community. People were absolutely loving it. I reviewed it before. You can check it out. I'll link to it here in the description down below. I compared it to a single cask 15-year-old Kilkerran, which was absolutely delicious as well. So check out that review, but just really quick, comparing these two together, ABV on this, just 0.2 more. So this one, 57.1. So almost the exact same ABV. Color, check out the color. The older release, definitely noticeable a little bit darker. I don't think that means really anything as far as what you're comparing to. I believe these are both first fill Oloroso recharred casks. So I don't think they're skimping on that, but I mean, that's just all speculation. But definitely the older release, just a tad darker. So the main differences between these two, the new one definitely has a more of a coastal kind of feel to it. So like the wet rocks, the sea air, the breeze, the sea salt, a little bit more in the newer release. I would say that the oak profile is probably the most noticeable difference. I would say that the older one, kind of more that like hickory style cedar wood, whereas the newer one, I get more kind of like that dank, kind of wet, damp wood. They both have this like kind of, they're both super thick, heavy sherry bombs, no doubt. They both kind of share this like mint and like menthol kind of note to it. Kind of like a menthol kind of tobacco, loose tobacco kind of note. I would say with the older release, I maybe get a little more of like a chocolate note, like you typically get Oloroso sherry. Maybe the newer one, kind of more like that rustic berry, whereas this one maybe get a little bit like chocolate fudge perhaps. The comparison is kind of different. I mean, my old bottle's been open for quite a while. This new one, I've only had this one open for about 2.5 weeks. Like I said, this went through a huge transformation from first crack to second and third sip to fourth and fifth sip. Big differences for sure. The older one, I scored this one 88 out of 100, and I ticked it up 1 point for value because I paid 110 Canadian for the older one. So I scored this 89. The new one, I'm gonna score it, I think just a half point less. I think I'm gonna score this one 87.5 out of 100. Now, for value for this one actually I got from a really awesome dude, part of the secondary market Facebook group that I'm a part of. He brought these in from the UK, wanted to get them as soon as possible and sold them to people in that group for his cost. So I ended up paying 215 Canadian dollars. By the time you buy in the UK, do the exchange, ship them over here, cost that up. So about $100 more I paid for this release to get it as soon as possible. I'm sure when these come out in in Canada, the prices might be kind of close to the same, 110, 115 or so. The demand will be super high. You're looking at having to jump at this as people will be chomping at the bit to get it. Keeping that in mind, keeping in mind the hype around this bottle, the secondary market value of this bottle, I'm going to take off a half point for value, bring it down to 87. So I think I increased value 1 point for paying 110, decreased half a point for paying 215. So I think if you kind of do the math, round that out, I think that this bottle is justified at around 150 Canadian dollars. I think that's where this quality and enjoyment factor lands this bottle compared to what you're looking at in the market today. That's my review. Let me know what you think. What have you tried as far as these Kilkerran sherries? Have you tried the newest one? Have you tried the old one? I know a lot of people love this old one. Reviews kind of conflicting on this new one, but I think it's delicious stuff. Like I said, just a half tick less, I think, for what you're getting as far as balance is this. A little bit more balanced. This one, a little bit more out of whack, but still just, it's that bomb, delicious, heavy sherry that the sherry heads love. So let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you want to come back, find your way back to the channel for some more content just like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.